Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about, according to Kimmie, Martell is a nice guy. Coleslaw, she ain't even gonna call her no side chick. But when it comes to Sunny, oh my gosh, they want to nail that scarlet letter on her and then nail her to the cross, okay? And Tisha gets instantly defensive when asked about Blaque being closed to the point where she drags the Melometers in it. So I'm going to be recapping episode 13 of season 7 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, before we get into the scenes and the audacity of it all, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. Then YouTube will recommend this video to more people who enjoy discussing Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel, Shows Style and Spirit. I would definitely love to have you. Everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on the soundbite to end all sound bites is allowed. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, the episode opens up with Melody's property preservation class, in-person style. These are all of her students. She had them meet her at a property so that they could actually check out some of the repairs that their companies would do, their staffers would do, with them being entrepreneurs. Melody explained in her confessional that her property preservation class is doing amazing. So far, she has developed 800 entrepreneurs from all over the United States. And she was teaching them in this scene, in addition to some repairs that they would do, she said, if you discover foundational issues that the owner of the property, the bank owner of the property, did not disclose, that can be a very costly repair. She said foundational issues can be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So she was definitely giving them a lot of helpful information. She even had a general contractor on the premises to go over repairs with them as well. And in the midst of the class, she stepped outside and she called Sunny because Melody remembered Sunny telling her that she likes to buy, rehab, and then sell rental properties. And when she called Sunny, Sunny was saying how, she and Moses are thinking about moving to Huntsville. Melody was definitely surprised by that. She said in her confessional, I don't think that Moses or Sunny has any relatives in Huntsville. I just hope that they just want to move here for a change of scenery and not to be petty. And I really think that they're seeing it as a work opportunity to continue filming for the show, assuming that there is a season 8, another season, and that they would be asked back. So I think Sunny and Moses, in my opinion, saying that they would move to Huntsville is definitely them giving a good show of faith to production that they would definitely move down there to continue filming. And so I thought that this was a very educational scene, and the in-person style of the property preservation masterclass, I think that's awesome. Then we see this scene between Nell and Chris at their home, and they were discussing initially possibly buying a suite at a stadium, a local stadium, and they were thinking about buying a suite. And then Nell says it would be great to invite people to enjoy the skybox, even the kids. Oh, excuse me, adult children. So now here is the beginning of her shading Dr. Francis, which I totally did not like, okay? Nell shaded Dr. Francis, asking why does she have to work on herself, and the session was not about the children changing. Oh my gosh, that is a red flag. I talked about this in a video earlier this week that when someone says that, they do not need therapy or, there's nothing that they need to work on themselves, that is a huge red flag that they could be manipulative, narcissist. And Nell she is giving more so like conceited, and she thinks she's perfect vibes. Perhaps she just does not want to admit any sort of flaws. And Chris Fletcher, he actually said that he thinks Dr. Francis went underneath the surface. And in my opinion, the surface is the children borrowing money, but underneath the surface is Nell being intimidating, unapproachable, and yelling at the fact that they need money when she taught them to be materialistic. She taught them to just want the luxury vehicles and the designer clothes. Because I've said this in previous videos, in my opinion, because her children work. If you notice, they all have jobs. In my opinion, they're spending their net income on the clothes, the shoes, the cars, and hanging out. And they literally go to their parents for help with the rent, the utilities, the insurance, the groceries, the gas for those luxury cars. But if you've taught them to just be materialistic and to not see your money as a means for all of your basic needs to be met, and now they're being controlled by money because they're materialistic, now you should really be mad and yelling at yourself. So let's move right on along. So then we see the cast minus Martell, Destiny, Sunny, and Moses. They meet at Maurice and Kimmie's new eatery / lounge. It's called the Sage Lounge. And they are looking for the right chef that would run the kitchen. So Melody asked Tisha and Marceau about Blaque being closed. And Tisha piped in about whether or not it was Melody's students or the Melometers. So when Melody asked Tisha and Marceau about Blaque being closed, she said to them, I told my students about Blaque while they were in town for the in-class session, in-person session, and I told them they could hang out at Blaque. But when they went there, it was closed. What's up with that? Tisha asked what class, and Melody said, oh, my property preservation class. Then Tisha goes, was it really your students or Melometers being nosy? Melody responded with, it does not matter. And as she was saying that, I was saying out loud, it don't matter, Tisha, is Blaque open or closed? That is what matters. And they had to say that it was closed. Tisha let Marceau do the majority of the talking. Tisha said, them people down at the city. And Melody said, the city closed y'all down? And then they were like, yeah. And she said, for what reasons did they list? And Marceau said, they took issue with the furniture that I bought for Blaque. I did not pay a tax on it. Because remember, in the first half of season 7, when Tisha and Marceau talked about the situation, he said that he bought the furniture from Amazon and Wayfair. And so I guess the city of Huntsville wanted him to buy the furniture locally and pay the taxes that way. But in any event, that was the reason that they gave. Melody responded in her confessional saying, the issues that they've had with their businesses, I've never had with my businesses. She said, you always end up going down a deep hole when you ask Marceau questions about his business. And that has to be facts. I have to totally agree. I feel like you learn more about the ins and outs of the Scott's businesses by watching Trending at some point than you do hearing it from Tisha and Marceau. And honestly, they may not even be able to explain what happens with their businesses a lot of times. They may not even be clear on it themselves. And I've always said that That should be their storyline. If they need help with maintaining their businesses, learning money management, whatever it is, that could be their storyline where they're going out and getting help. And I mean, if it were me, and I had 3 kids to provide for, and I want my basic needs to be met and beyond, I would totally swallow my pride, and I would say, "Melody, I know you are super duper busy, but can you schedule us a sit down? We have some questions, and we wanna know how you would go about these things, or what do you think is going on? And if you don't have the answer, is there someone you can refer us to?" I would totally seek out help, and I do not see what is wrong with that at all. But if you are operating in pride, you're totally not going to seek out help. That's just my opinion. But I felt like Tisha was deflecting when she tried to bring up Melometers. You know, Melody let them know I actually referred people to hang out at your establishment and it was closed. What's up? So I feel like that was a deflection because they did not want to truly say what was going on. So now let's move on to the part where they sit down to eat and they seem to really be pleased with the chef. Her name was LaChastity, and she gave them like classic soul food. She gave them chicken, which Stormy loved. The green beans, Melody said was bomb. They had dressing. They had like a second course, and I assume they definitely had dessert. They all seem to be totally with it. And then Nell brings up if anyone has spoken to Destiny. And Latricia says, you know, she talks to her because she trains Destiny. And Latricia said that Destiny definitely has some people that she wants to tell off. Now we're going to circle back around to Latricia because I don't think Latricia and Ken can talk about anybody. Okay. Now during this sit down scene, Kimmie said that, you know, she did sit down with Sonny and Moses. And she does think that the way Moses went about his new relationship with Sonny was wrong. That's when Chris Fletcher piped in. And he said that Sonny told him she was just doing her job and the on-air talent, Destiny, got it twisted. Tisha is really pro Destiny because at this point, she said that that was a lie and that Sonny and Destiny hung out after Sonny stopped producing for Love and Marriage Hutnsville. But then Kimmie actually clarified and said, well, yeah, when Destiny would fly up to St. Louis to see Moses, sometimes she and Sonny would spend some time together. Chris Fletcher said how he did show Sonny and Moses a house, and Tisha said, you know, that's rubbing it in to move to Huntsville. That's rubbing it in Destiny's face if they were to move here. And I noticed, you know, Melody was noticeably quiet during this particular conversation of Destiny, Sonny, and Moses. And then they pivoted to Melody's confessional, where she said that it was unfair to discuss Sonny and Moses because they were not present to defend themselves. And I think that that is definitely fair. So now circling back to Latricia and Ken, they really cannot talk, but they were chiming in too. Latricia even mentioned how when you would ask Sonny about her and Moses dating and getting married, she said that Sonny would say, oh, well, it was just our destiny. You know, and Latricia was basically, you know, insinuating like Sonny was making light of the situation and thought that it was inappropriate. But I feel like, in my opinion, they can definitely not talk because then the conversation turned to Latricia's husband, Marquez. And, you know, Marceau said how it turned out that Marquez worked for him at one point, and Marquez stopped by Blaque and they had conversation. And then that's when everyone was questioning Ken and Latricia about their relationship. And see, in my opinion, this is what, from what I've learned from interviews with Nell Fletcher and Chris Fletcher, these are some signs of some cheating going on. we met in this year and we was just talking in this year, and then they were separated or they were having problems or they were on the outs, and then this year, and then we didn't meet in person until this year, and then they were already out of the house. When you have to give all of these dates and seasons and quarters when stuff was happening between this relationship over here, and then you enter the picture and this, that, and the third, that lets you know that people blurred lines, they let stuff overlap. You know, I talked to a guy that was using that overlapping terms. That's some BS. There's some cheating going on, and some people ain't right. Now, when it comes to Ken and Latricia, they said in this dinner scene that they met online in 2015 or 2016. And the way Ken and Latricia like to spin it, they like to make it sound almost innocent that they were just in the DMs in 2015 and 2016. But if y'all are complimenting each other's workout bodies, because they also try to paint it like, you know, they met online discussing working out. But if you're complimenting each other's bodies, you know, that's an easy way for things to get flirtatious, in my opinion. And they were saying that they did not meet in person until a few years later. And then, you know, I believe, because what they fail to realize is that they'll try to say, oh, we've just been together for 2 years. Well, 2 years, y'all definitely got serious because y'all lived together. Trisha got her children around you. So it's definitely serious, but they've been knowing each other for nearly 10 years and they chat in the DMs. And Marceau basically was saying, you know, that's not really like right. Now, Melody did give a different perspective. She said that, you know, sometimes two people can just converse and that's all it is. It does not get physical. Now, the only difference is Ken and Latricia, they have obviously, it eventually did get physical. They do date and they live in the same house. And, you know, again, her children are around him. But definitely two people can just be friends and that's all it is. Then in their confessional, Marceau and Tisha were talking junk. Marceau said, Melody sure is defending Latricia and Ken. And Tisha piped in with, there must be some truth to what Martell said about Melody talking to other people. Shut up, Tisha. Melody said a while back, years ago, that when she was actually separated from Martell, got an apartment, had her own crib. She had a friend that she talked to for like 3 weeks, and it was conversation only. Sometimes conversation is all you need. You all know that I definitely promote solitude on this channel. Sometimes I have my moments where I had someone just to have the conversation, just to like send like some flirty texts and to vent about the crazy work days. Yeah, for sure. I would really love that. But then I just utilize my friendships, you know, my homegirls that I've known since high school, college, and yeah, that basically meets the needs. Not totally, not 100%, but the point that I'm making is that sometimes conversation is all that you need because you don't want all of the headache of dealing with a ninja. All right, so then Melody, they're still at the Sage Lounge, Kimmie and Maurice's new spot, when Melody actually surprises the ladies with a girls' trip to St. Thomas. And Tisha is going to ask about a +1. And Melody says, I don't care as long as you are okay with sharing a bed with them, because I don't know if there will be enough rooms. And Melody says she's going to bring some of her girlfriends as well. So then we see Destiny, Tisha, and Kimmie meet at Kimmie's house. And Destiny was explaining why she was not at the tasting because she actually was out on a date out of town. If you check out some of Destiny's content on her YouTube channel, she has mentioned that she actually likes doing long distance dating so that when the relationship is over, it's like a cleaner break because they do not live physically near each other. Sometimes I wonder if like I don't really know why she married LeBaric because Destiny gives like player, like she just wants to like F with you for a little while and then it's a wrap. But anyway, that's what she was doing. She was out on a date out of town, and that's how she missed Kimmie's tasting. Tisha said that Sonny was trying to take, all of Destiny's friends away, including Kimmie. Tisha really annoyed me with that because she is so quick now to throw people under the bus. But let someone speak on Tisha's behavior, and Wanda is going nuts. She is going live on Instagram and YouTube, cursing you out for calling out Tisha's behavior. But Tisha will throw you under anything that is smoking, the bus, the plane, a scooter, a skateboard, whatever. She will throw you up under. And this was at Kimmie's house. Now, Destiny said in her confessional that she does not like when her friends meet up with Sonny and Moses. She thinks that it's annoying. But are y'all really friends or are you coworkers? Now, Destiny changes the subject by bringing up Martell and Trisha. Tisha did not judge Trisha when Destiny told them that Trisha had been over Martell's house. Kimmie sat there in silence. And that annoys me to no end because they have all this smoke for Sonny. They judge her, but they have no smoke for Latricia. And Destiny did not give them the timeline that, allegedly Trisha was over Martell's house in 2020. We know that Melody left Martell in April of 2020, but legally he was still a married man. And Tisha just sat there and was like, ooh. And Kimmie said nothing. They hardly dragged Martell, but they pretty much just put it all on him. So then Tisha actually invites Destiny on the girls' trip that Melody is hosting. Tisha, in my opinion, was being sneaky because she did not mention Destiny at the tasting to Melody as her plus one. Tisha only asked Melody could she bring a plus one. And Tisha's reasoning was, well, Melody is bringing some of her girlfriends on the trip and she did not give names as to whom she's inviting. So I did not give Destiny's name. She did that because Melody did not have to say names because she's the host. She's organizing the trip. She invited you, Tisha. So, oh my gosh, the hypocrisy in this group, it is so loud and obnoxious. But let's just move on, honey. So then we see Melody meeting up with Sonny at a boutique called Envy. And they had like a lot of beautiful clothes. I love the colors. I love pink. So I really love this scene. And, Melody definitely always direct in her communication. She lets Sonny know, like, I'm inviting you on the girls' trip, but the group, they're acting like they are not feeling you. And, Sonny, she doesn't like it. She said, I'm not used to this. It makes her uncomfortable. And, I think Melody was letting her know what time it was so that she could be prepared mentally and emotionally for how the women were going to be on the girls' trip. And, Melody was basically telling her, don't give up, okay? You just enjoy yourself anyway. But there is more. So I love this bathing suit, by the way. I thought this was oh so cute. And in this scene, when they come out of their dressing rooms, Melody is like, Sonny, Sonny. And when they come out, Sonny, really didn't want to put on like a bathing suit, I guess at the time. I totally get it. I was checking out her Instagram live. I was at the movie scene Alien, so I missed Sonny's IG live, but I watched it on Here for Hot Tea's channel. And Sonny was saying how with her taking, the treatments to get pregnant, I guess it's kind of making her, bigger than usual. I think she's beautiful. I think she has a lovely figure, but she was basically coming out of her dressing room like, maybe like in a muumuu or just like, a really flowy, comfortable dress. I loved Melody's bathing suit. I love the floral pattern. I love the colors. And I thought she looked amazing in it. And I loved how production caught the mirror that she was standing in, and then they gave like the reflection while she was giving, Sunny some amazing advice about the group, particularly how they come so hard at Sunny, but when it came to Melody's own marriage, they made excuses for Martell and Coleslaw. And so in my opinion, this is the soundbite to end all sound bites. So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then I will come back with my commentary. And again, the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite is allowed. Let's go.
Women are triggered because they haven't been able to put a face maybe with what their men are doing. Yeah. And then they're seeing your face and they feel like you took him from her.
I hope not, but it seems like it's giving a little bit of that.
Giving a little bit of triggered, ain't it?
Yeah. But I'm glad you're not triggered. You know what I'm saying? If anybody, you would feel,
It's funny you mention that. What's so interesting to me is kind of the hypocrisy of it all, right?
It is.
They seem to be so strongly opinionated by you. And a person, he was not married to this girl, didn't have kids together, weren't even engaged, and damn sure didn't have no 14-year relationship like I was, right?
Right.
But I literally have heard Kimmie say, oh, I refuse to call her a side chick. I'm not calling her a side chick in terms of my situation.
Right.
How y'all been?
Good. Yeah, right now, she's like the happiest she's been in a long time. So that's effort that I'm putting in, that she's putting in.
Why she's the happiest, seems like she's the unhappiest.
She's the side chick. Don't even say her name. She's
I'm not going to call her a side chick.
I think I put everybody through this by trying to be greedy and things of that nature.
You're just a nice guy, Martell.
Yeah.
Maybe too nice. Maybe that's what got you in trouble.
I'm going to take it.
Oh, Martell's a great guy, but he's a great guy, right? I'm dealing with Martell. He has a baby on the way.
Is that true?
It is true.
I literally convinced myself that it
wasn't true because he's a good guy.
I'm not going to just say, oh, I should have never said he was a nice guy. I'm never going to say that because I live by what I say.
And I've seen all these people running behind him, defend him at times. And
these are your friends
that have been at my house. I've cooked dinner for. I've been to their house. They cooked dinner for me. We've taken vacations together.
Yeah.
But when it came to me, they didn't understand or see.
Right.
But now somebody who wasn't even engaged, married, or nothing, y'all want to go, rah.
Yeah.
Girl, they crazy, girl. They that crazy.
That sounds a little weird to me, too.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. It's a little disappointing to see Tisha and Kimmie still remaining friends with Destiny and Martell despite everything, that they've done. My integrity is kind of too up here to even do something just for some old time's sake or forgive and move on just for some old time's sake. That's just not the Melody way. Sunny!
Yes, boo.
You got this one too.
Oh,
what you got on?
You look cute.
Girl, what you got on? I thought you was going to show that pink swimsuit, girl.
Well, no, I just wanted to see my little beach wear, maybe. I'm just, still kind of dreading being attacked because I'm not used to this.
Girl, let me tell you something. For me, can't nobody in this group come talk to me about no girl code.
Yeah.
Don't now one of y'all come talk to me about no girl code because y'all in your girl code.
Because they ain't holding it for you.
Y'all don't even know what a girl code is. Kiss my ass.
But they ain't want to press me with.
Boom. Okay, there's nothing else left to say after that. I do want to take a moment though to focus on Kimmie. When they flash back, they did a couple of flashbacks. One was a scene between Kimmie and Martell. And, when Kimmie says Ariane's name, you heard production do the dog bark to cover it up. And then Martell says, she's a side chick. Don't even say her name. Here go, Kimmie. I'm not going to call her a side chick. Why, Kimmie? Are you suddenly bonding with Coleslaw? Please don't tell me that you see yourself in her shoes because the group was calling you a side chick. You said that you are not a side chick. So you differentiated yourself from side chicks. So why would you not call Coleslaw a side chick? You almost nearly equated yourself with her. That is ridiculous. And I feel like that is a sign of a pick me mentality when you want to cover and make excuses for a man. Her not calling Coleslaw a side chick, that was really to uphold Martell and his wrongness and cover for him. And then she does it again, very telling, very vividly. They did a flashback to Melody saying to Kimmie, you know, he has a child on the way. Kimmie's response was, is that true? She said, I told myself, you know, that it wasn't true. See, that is a huge problem in the Black race, in the Black community. We will totally ignore the dysfunctionality and the sometimes mental illness that is in some of these straight Black men. I feel like our community is tougher on gay Black men and Black women as a whole. Black women, even, we judge each other harshly on everything that we set out to do or what we're wearing. It's always so harsh. But with the straight Black man, we ignore the unhealthy behavior that impacts the race overall. You know, all these men that have walked out on their children, that don't even bother marrying the mother or mothers of their kids, the promiscuity, the lack of education and a solid career so that you can take care of all of these children that you are making. Nobody has that sort of smoke for straight Black men. You know, so they act like Kimmie and they tell themselves that's not true. That is a huge problem. And that just really, really bothered me. And I'm actually thankful that production did what needed to be done and they flashed back to that scene. And Kimmie, you ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed for making excuses for fuck shit. And that's what it is. So I'm totally with Melody calling it out. F your girl code and kiss my ass. That's right. Both cheeks, okay? So I'm just so glad for this scene. I'm so glad that Melody said everything that she had to. And I'm glad that production backed her up by flashbacking to that BS. And Tisha and Kimmie, they can make excuses if they want to. I can just go and ask Nail to get with them because the clips for next week's episode, when they actually go on the girls' trip, honey, they are getting into it over the rooms, baby. Nell is ready to whoop some behind, okay? And Kimmie says, you know, my ass is here now, okay? And she gets hot. So, you know, watching grown women fight over rooms on these trips, on these reality TV shows, that will never get old. Okay, they've been doing that for years, but it looks like the episode is going to be really, really good. So I know some of you all are blacking out the show. So I hope you enjoyed these visuals and this recap. I definitely took detailed notes. I was pausing the show so I could write down notes of what I just saw, because I know that a lot of you are blacking out the show and I want to keep you in the know. And for those who checked out the episode, what did you think? What did you think about the hypocrisy that was reeking out of the women Tisha and Kimmie and Latricia? Okay. And I hope that you all are having a fantastic weekend. Alien was good. I even started, when I came home last night, I started watching, I found another Alien film that's on YouTube for free. Some of the other ones you have to buy. And of course, I was Googling. I didn't even know that the very first Alien went back to 1979. When I was a kid, like the Alien movies would come on cable. So I would just watch clips of it because, of course, I found it to be really scary and gross. So when I watched it last night, I was like, oh my gosh, when I went to the movies and I DM'd my friend Corey, I was like, so was she a second-class citizen or an astronaut? When I was a kid, I just assumed Sigourney Weaver's character was an astronaut. And Corey said no, she was like a second-class citizen because that's what was going on in the movie. and they had like the artificial intelligent people. It was just a really good story. And yeah, that to me, they've even set it up to do an additional Alien, a sequel. So I thought that it was really good. If you're into sci-fi horror, definitely check it out. And yeah, I love the weekends. It feels so good. So I am going to get out into the streets and enjoy this Sunday. And I will talk with you all very soon. Bye.